Hello guys, hello mic test. So today I'm gonna discuss n8n. So I'm gonna introduce you to the world of automation. Uh, so what is n8n? Let me introduce you to n8n. It's an open source. It's a workflow automation platform. It's similar to if you've heard of Zapier or Make. It's similar to that, but it's open source, meaning we can have access to its code and we can deploy it or make it our own or deploy it to our own server. So that's I'm gonna walk you through that today. So yeah, before that, I'm gonna discuss the things that we can achieve with n8n. So first, the very important one is the AI LLM workflow. So we can leverage n8n to use AI because they have like this AI agent nodes. So what I mean by nodes is, let me just walk through you through to the n8n website. So this is my n8n instance, and this is an example of a workflow. So this workflow um, connects to platforms, which is the Telegram and also the Google Sheets. So every time I add or send an image to Telegram, like let's say for example this one, I want to send it a script like receipt like this one, and then it's gonna process it and output it to a different platform, which is in our case Sheets, Google Sheets. So these are the data coming from that image, which is being processed by the AI attached to this node. So this is what I'm calling the AI agent node. So I'm gonna attach an LLM model for this one. The LLM model serves as the brain of the AI agent. So in our case, I'm going to use this one. So I have already pre-configured this using my credential, but later on, if you guys want it more, I can make more videos showing how to configure basically the AI agent node. So yeah, hopefully it doesn't overwhelm you, but um, let me show you how this works. Try natin if it will really send or process that in real time. So let me select an image. Let's say for example this one, and then click on send, and then let's just delete this. Okay, I'm gonna wait and until it's done processing or executing. So right now in the executions tab, we can see it running and it succeeded. So that means when you go back to the Google Sheet, the data is already in there. So amazing, right? So that's how um, automation works. So behind the scenes, it's working. Um, it's pulling the data from the Telegram. It's being triggered. So this we also have this trigger node. Every automations out there starts with a trigger. So this one's the trigger. Well, the moment I sent the image, that triggered out the entire workflow. So yep, that's a quick glimpse of how automation works. And you can see now you have like a whole view of what's possible with automating stuff, right? And definitely apply this to like the businesses. Like for example, commonly na observe ko is usually businesses record their transactions manually. So this could solve their problem. Like when you picture up when you take a picture of a receipt and then the transaction ID, then it will automatically be added in a Google Sheet. That's something that reduces the manual work needed and therefore make things smoother, or basically the business process smoother. So yeah, well that's it. Um, that's what automation is. That's what n8n is capable of. It also have like capability in terms with CRM and lead automation. So another cool thing to study or to learn is to how to connect platforms together using API. So API is another story. I'm gonna create another video for that. And once you learn API, how that works, how it connects platforms together, then you'll be a lot more capable of doing automations on your own, and also with the help of AIs. And also another cool thing is the social media automation. There's also data sync, e-commerce, and custom API integrations. So 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 yeah, that's n8n. And yeah, let's move on to. So today, the main focus is to help you get started and deploy n8n, so you have access to your own website like this one. Oh no, personal projects, finance. So these are all finance. I automate some of my budgeting in n8n, so you can do that too. I can definitely teach you how to do that. And yeah, um, less talking, more doing. So let's go ahead and describe. So there's actually two ways on how to deploy or get access to n8n. One is the n8n cloud and also the self-hosting. So as a Filipino, um, I usually we usually like we find ways to get access to the cheapest options out there. So, and from my point of view, n8n cloud is not really worth it because its pricing is let me go in. I know, oh no, n8n.io. Its pricing is over the top. It's around $20 per month, so we don't really need that. It's a lot expensive. So when you go to pricing, and then here it's a $20 per month plan if it's annually billed. But if it's monthly, it's gonna be around $24. So yeah, that hurts. So yeah, the cheapest option here is to self-host it inside DigitalOcean. There's a lot of platforms that can self-host this. We have Hostinger, but my personal preferences is DigitalOcean. So it's a lot smoother to configure. And yeah, that's it. Let me walk you through DigitalOcean, how to get your domain. So first, there are two prerequisites for this one to complete this setup. We're gonna need a domain name and also a virtual private server, or inside DigitalOcean we call it droplets. So yeah, let's go ahead and dive into it. So let's go to settings. I'm gonna show you guys my referral link just in case. So if you're gonna use this, we're gonna get a 25 credit. So that's for you to decide. But once you're inside, you create an account. Remember what email you used, and also what credentials save that. And then in the sidebar, there's a droplet option. Click that, and then here we can create a droplet. So a droplet is basically a virtual private server, which means it's a server running on the cloud and it's virtual, and it allows you to get access to your workflows anywhere and have it triggered anytime. So there's actually two ways to deploy or self-host n8n. One is to deploy it locally, and one is to deploy it in the cloud. So I prefer deploying it to the cloud. So after creating the droplet, it's gonna show you this options. So choose region. I suggest you choose the one nearest to you. It's basically just a data center. So the more it's closer to you, the more it's faster and more. Yeah, it makes sense to choose the one that's nearest to you. So when you scroll down, go to marketplace, and then here search for n8n. So it's already built out in Docker, which means the code is already containerized and everything is already configured. So that makes our life a lot more easier. And after, okay, after clicking n8n, or you can just click n8n here and use that. And then for recommendations, we don't need that. For the basic, yeah, let's do basic for now. Since I imagine for your first few projects or workflows, it's not gonna be that complicated. So we don't really need that much CPU or SSD, all of that. So once selected, mm, scroll down and then additional storage. We don't need that. Backups, we don't need that for now. But later on, once you have a lot of workflows, once you have a client, and these workflows are gonna be, they need to be stored somewhere that we can roll back to, so that you have access to it if something happens to your n8n workflows. So, yeah, that's basically it. For the projects, if there's nothing here, then you can just create a new project, then select that project. So right now I'm adding it to automation project, and then create a droplet. That's it. And while we're waiting for this to be deployed, another thing that we need is a domain name, and I suggest using Spaceship. This is where I bought mine, and just make sure that your domain name is, let's say for example, mine is marvelous.com. Marvelous. Taken. Okay, I've already taken this one. But yeah, just make sure to look into the right side. There's a price here. So the first one, this is gonna be the first year. You're gonna pay 311, and then in the following years, it's gonna be around 1.8. I mean, yeah, 1.8. So just make sure to choose cheapest. So make sure choose this one or any other option, and make sure to check this price right here. So after this first year, it's gonna be 590 in the following year. So once you add that to cart, you now have a domain name. Also, I forgot to mention that you have to sign in to your account. So yeah, that's it. And another thing is once you have your domain name, you go to Launchpad and Domain Manager, and inside here you're gonna see your domain, or you add a new domain, and then once it's added, you connect it. Once connected, you go ahead and in the custom DNS records, click on continue. Here, create a new A type record, and then we call it n8n2 for my second n8n website. So the one here, the one that we're going to add in the IPv4 address, it's gonna be coming from this one. So we're good to go. Okay, let's click that, and then as you can see here, there's a IPv4 IP address. Click on that, copy that, and paste it here, and save all. So it's gonna take some time to propagate, but while we're at it, let's configure our n8n droplet. So you go ahead to console, and don't be shocked and don't be overwhelmed once you see the terminal. So it's gonna connect. And then there's a few things that we need to configure first, like the subdomain and the domain, and also your email. So yeah, for the subdomain, let me go back to this one is the subdomain, and this one is the domain name, and this one is the IP address of this droplet. So you go ahead and type in n8n2 or whatever you added in your domain, and then click enter. And as for the domain, marketplace.com. And you're gonna need to add your email address here for Let's Encrypt. Work. this before at gmail.com. Okay, let's encrypt it. It's basically free um, certificate generator, or it allows. Let me explain it in the non-technical terms. It generates an SSL certificate, and this SSL certificate, this is the one that's gonna secure your website. So yeah, let's go ahead and click OK. Um, for the time zone, well, anything will do just fine. So let's click enter, and then it's gonna load up all of the configurations right off the bat. So yeah, let me walk you through some of my workflows while that's still loading. So I'm gonna show off here a little bit. The most used workflow is basically the this one, Notion Finance Tracker. So it's a lot complicated. It has access to all the transactions, all of the categories, expense and income categories, and then logs them to Notion. So I'm gonna show later on, once I have the time, I can show you around this workflow and how you can apply it on your own. So let's go back to n8n, and I think that's already completed. Let's wait for this to load. And bro, I need to start working. Let's wait for it to boot. Okay, I think we're good. So it says your installation complete. Access your new n8n server in a browser to continue. So it's gonna be HTTPS, which means it's secure. And copy that and paste it somewhere. And if it's in the first try, it's not gonna load anything, right? So it's still propagating that SSL certificate, and it's gonna take a while. Just refreshed until it's okay. Not really sure how or the delay. I mean, the duration of the delay is, but usually it'll take a couple of retries. And then to mark. I'm sorry. Did we save it here? 139. Let me do a quick debugging. See where it might went wrong. It went. So refresh. Error. Hmm. So let's check the graph, the bandwidth, the CPU. So right now, I think it is still loading. The networking, access, resize. So this is not mine. I mean, technically still mine. And then two markerless. Okay, guys, it's still loading. But we are pretty sure that will work. Let me pause the video. So now, guys, it's now working. When you go to n8n2.markvillas.com, it's gonna be it's working now. So you'll have to work. You'll have to wait once it's propagated. So here's the propagation details in Spaceship. When you click on the the Wi-Fi icon. So now it's available to all of these servers out there. And then the last thing that we need to do is to set up. So use whatever email uh, you want and mark. Okay. And then click on next, and then it's going to send you a security license key. So this one, you can skip that and then tell it to send the free license key. You're going to need that. And here in your Gmail, check whether you receive that, or it might take a while, but if you're inside, then that's a good news. You can now start working and creating your new workflows. So enjoy.